Tonight, Pike County celebrates National Boys and Girls Club Week. Plus, a Broadway play makes its way to Troy. Stay tuned. TrojanVision Nightly News starts now.
From the high-definition digital production center on the Troy campus, with news from Troy University locations around the world, this is Troy TrojanVision Nightly News.
Hello and welcome to Troy TrojanVision Nightly News for April 12, 2013. I'm Haley Greathouse.
And I'm Courtney Addison. Thank you for joining us this evening. The Boys and Girls Club of Pike County and surrounding counties has served as a safe place for youth to spend their time after school. And as National Boys and Girls Club Week comes to a close, Christina Cook takes a look and tells us about everything the Boys and Girls Club has to offer.
Impacting a child's life can be done in so many different ways. Pike County Boys and Girls Club does this every day for the many at-risk youth in Troy.
Boys and Girls Club Week is like our celebration of Boys and Girls Club. All over the world nationally, they are celebrating Boys and Girls Club. We decided that we would just do it for Friday for our Open the Blue Doors.
And with this week being National Boys and Girls Club Week, the staff and volunteers want to make sure that the blue doors stay open for our youth.
The whole point of Blue Doors is that the blue door symbolizes opening the door to success, opening the door to the Boys and Girls Club to be great, opening the doors for great futures. So the blue door is really symbolic for the Boys and Girls Club.
And as some club kids explain, with the help of volunteers and staff working to make the club a better place, it helps them stay out of trouble.
I've been a part of the Boys and Girls Club my whole time since 1998, since I was 8. That's when I first started going, so it means a lot to me personally because I've been a part of it like most of my life. So so I know how important it is because what I'm saying, those kids, they don't have anything to do. It's nothing but trouble to be out there to get into. So we have something organized for them to do and someone for them to look up to. It can just help them with their future and help them to make better decisions. When they get older.
I usually get in trouble and be in the streets and fighting all the time, and now I got something to keep me out of trouble.
You can stay out of trouble. Basically, like, have fun, meet new friends, and basically just, I guess, have fun and learn. I enjoy the Boys and Girls Club. I really like it.
Christina Cook, Troy, TrojanVision News.
If you are interested in volunteering at the Boys and Girls Club, please call 334-770-2582, or you can stop by and pick up a volunteer application.
4 weeks after the production of Chicago, Troy University's theater department is ready to go again with a new Broadway musical. And this one is a little different from their previous production.
Demon Barbers, Human Pies, Revenge, and Love are all part of Troy University Theater Department's production of the musical Sweeney Todd. But this rendition has a slight twist.
Not a big set. It's probably not the largest cast of Sweeney Todd you'll ever see, and it's got a very low budget. They've had to rely more on themselves and more on creating a world from thin air.
The whole scope of it is very minimalist in style, and we're trying to keep it very intimate.
We started off doing it more as a concert version, so sort of simple, and now it's turned into sort of a modern version of the show.
The production puts the audience members right on stage with the performers, limiting the amount of stage space. While for some actors a small stage could be a problem, McCrae says this production had another issue before rehearsal even started.
The biggest problem with rehearsals has been the limited amount of time that we had. We just closed Chicago 4 weeks ago, and we've had to kind of just start back into it.
Sweeney Todd may be a musical, but it has a dark side.
Guy, well-known barber, gets sent into exile because the judge is fascinated with his wife. So he gets sent into exile, and then he finds his way back, and then he finds his razors in the old shop he used to work in, and then he goes on a killing spree just to to avenge himself for what was done to him.
And the gory nature of the play lends to a few of the cast members' favorite parts.
My favorite scene is God That's Good. It's gross because it's when they're the first part that they're actually eating people.
My friends. It's a very emotional piece. He's reunited with his razors, his instruments, and you get to see how attached he was.
So what should the audience expect?
I don't think anybody is ready for what's going to happen at any moment or neither the end.
Sweeney Todd will debut Sunday at 2:30 in the Trojan Center theaters. Some people may be looking forward to a relaxing weekend, but for others, this weekend could get a little stressful.
That's right, Haley. Tax day is Monday, so many people will be working on that last-minute paperwork. But our Troy students among the taxpayers, Bailey Majors, hit the campus to find out.
April 15th is the last day to file tax returns without penalty. And with tax season affecting so many people worldwide, how does this yearly event affect Troy University students?
I don't make enough money to have to pay taxes.
It doesn't directly affect me because I'm still a dependent on my mom and dad.
I get a good amount of money back from taxes.
Tax season for me doesn't really mean a whole lot right now.
I didn't make enough money for it to be a big deal.
With several college students between jobs and not making enough to file taxes or still listed as dependents with their parents, do students have any knowledge on how to file taxes or the importance of filing taxes?
Last year first time I ever filed taxes by myself, and it takes some getting used to, but I can do it.
If you ask pretty much anyone on this campus, they probably don't know how to do them because either they've never had to or they were never taught how to.
I know how to fill out a form as well as anything else, but I don't know why it's important.
I don't think that college students know a whole lot about taxes because I would assume that there are a lot of people out there like me who don't have a steady source of income.
Troy students say they would like to see either a class or lecture offered to students from Troy University on how to file taxes and for high schools to inform students on the importance of taxes.
It would be pretty appropriate for there to be a class, maybe even an orientation where they kind of talk about taxes a little bit.
In high school or middle school, when you took that home ec class and they taught you how to fill out a check, they should have told you why you were filling out a check and how that affects your bank account.
And for those students who have filed taxes before, what advice do they offer to their fellow peers?
Make sure you have every pay stub and every form that the school gives you. You have a good program to help you along with taxes, you ought to be okay.
Bailey Majors, Troy, TrojanVision News.
Once again, tax day is Monday. Taxes either have to be electronically filed or postmarked by midnight to avoid penalty.
And now taking a look at news from around the state. In Tuscumbia, a man has been found guilty of murder and abuse of a corpse in the October 2011 strangulation death of Amanda Taylor. Ronald Weems says Taylor attacked him in his basement and he blacked out during the part of the fight. He told the court he panicked when he regained consciousness.
And in Montgomery, the governor has signed legislation that permits posthumous pardons for the Scottsboro boys. A spokeswoman for the Secretary of State's office says Governor Robert Bentley signed the bill Thursday. The legislature passed the bill last week to allow the state parole board to issue posthumous pardons to the eight Scottsboro boys who didn't get pardons before they died.
And also in Montgomery, a former employee of the Alabama House has been indicted on charges he failed to file income tax returns and failed to pay taxes. Attorney General Luther Strange says 41-year-old William Clay Covington was arrested Wednesday after surrendering to authorities at the Montgomery County Sheriff's Office. House Clerk Jeff Woodard says Covington resigned last week as official House Clerk.
And still to come on TrojanVision Nightly News, while there is not a team playing on campus this weekend, there are still several teams in action. Justin McNally will give us a look at the Trojans weekend coming up in sports.
More breaks out with the United States. We'll have that story and more after the break.
I'm Danielle Nottingham at the State Department. Coming up, the Secretary of State warns North Korea to back down from its threats of war.
Today is Saturday. 60 minutes of physical activity a day and eating well can help get your child healthy. Get ideas, get involved, get going at letsmove.gov. That's letsmove.gov.
Check out this chef, right?
So gay. Please don't say that. It's like if I thought this pepper shaker was stupid and I said, man, this pepper shaker is so 16-year-old boy with a cheesy mustache. When you say that's so gay, do you realize what you say? Knock it off.
Some risks are obviously not worth taking.
Watch where you're going.
Some aren't as obvious, but could be just as deadly. Like the risk for type 2 diabetes, especially if you're over 45 or overweight. Take the diabetes risk test. It's free and takes less than a minute. Type 2 diabetes is one risk you can't afford to take. So stop diabetes before it stops you.
From the high-definition digital production studios of Troy University, you're watching the award-winning TrojanVision Nightly News.
And now for a look at what's happening across the nation and around the world, we go to Haley Greathouse at the Global News Desk. Haley?
Thanks, Courtney. North Korea is warning Japan, a close U.S. ally, that it will be the first target if war breaks out with the United States. The threat came as Secretary of State John Kerry arrived in Seoul for talks with South Korean leaders. We'll get more from Daniel Nottingham at the State Department.
Outside South Korea's Foreign Ministry building, demonstrators told visiting U.S. Secretary of State John Kerry they want peace with North Korea.
John Kerry, peace up now!
Inside, Kerry sat down with South Korean leaders and warned North Korea's leader not to wage war with the U.S. or its allies.
Kim Jong-un needs to understand, as I think he probably does, what the outcome of a conflict would be.
Kerry's stop in Seoul comes amid concerns North Korea is getting ready to test fire another missile. And a new report from the Defense Intelligence Agency indicates the North may be capable of arming a missile with a nuclear warhead. Both the State Department and White House are downplaying the report, insisting North Korea has not demonstrated the capability to make a nuclear weapon small enough to attach to a missile.
Obviously, they have conducted a nuclear test. So there's some kind of device. But that is very different from miniaturization.
Former White House advisor on North Korea, Victor Cha, says the regime is more than just talk.
There certainly is a lot of bluster, but I think they are a threat. Their missile and nuclear programs are developing. There's nothing that's stopping them from developing, and they're seeking a capability where they can reach the United States.
Secretary Kerry is headed to China next. He'll ask North Korea's #1 ally to help turn up the pressure on the regime. Danielle Nottingham, CBS News, the State Department.
Any parent knows the emergency room can be a scary place for children, but now kid-friendly facilities are popping up around the country. Edward Lawrence got a first-hand look at an ouchless ER in Santa Monica, California.
1.5-year-old Antonella Frausto landed in the emergency room for the first time after she put her dinner, peas and spaghetti with meatballs, up her nose.
She sneezed it out, and we were worried that she still had some in.
Hello, I'm Dr. Dabby. So nice to meet you.
Getting a child to cooperate in an emergency can be difficult, so Dr. Lisa Dabby designed what UCLA Medical Center Santa Monica calls an ouchless ER for kids.
It's much easier to take care of kids when they're not screaming or, thrashing around.
A child life specialist assists using toys.
A lot of times the pain that they perceive can kind of be alleviated through distraction or getting their mind onto something else or having them be involved in an activity.
Wipers on the bus.
Children tend to have more fat in their arms, so putting in an IV can be tough. Nurses here use an ultrasound to find the vein the first time, so children only get stuck once.
Once you kind of poke them once, they start to get upset. And if you could just nail it the first time and everybody's happy and we're done, we can move forward.
Doctors also use nasal sprays to deliver medications instead of shots and surgical glue instead of stitches when possible.
The wheels on the bus go round and round.
Antonella did not put up a big fuss when doctors removed more of her dinner.
If we didn't have all the other things to distract her, I think she would probably just have a tantrum and start crying, yeah.
In fact, her mom says she didn't cry at all. Edward Lawrence for CBS News, Santa Monica, California.
And that wraps things up from the Global News Desk. To see more stories from across the country and around the world, you can tune in to TrojanVision Global News right after the nightly news. Now back to you, Courtney.
Thanks, Haley. Now Justin McNally joined us with a look at sports. So, Justin, there's a lot of action going on this weekend, but unfortunately none of that is at home. Can you tell us a little bit about what exactly is going to go on?
That's right. There's a lot of teams in action this weekend. Baseball and softball teams are on the road. They're going to get underway in just a little bit. Both tennis teams are in action today, as long as the rodeo team. But with all this sports, let's just go ahead and jump right into it. The Trojan baseball team is back on the road tonight after 2 midweek games at home, as they are up in Bowling Green taking on the Sunbelt leaders in Western Kentucky. The Trojans sit just 1 game behind the Hilltoppers for first place and can leapfrog them with a sweep this weekend. The Trojans hope that their high-powered offense continues after they scored a combined 22 runs over the past 2 games. And it does not stop there, as the 1 through 4 hitters in the lineup all rank in the top 11 in the NCAA in a statistical category. Tyler Vaughn is second in runs scored, Logan Pierce is 11th in hits, Danny Collins is 4th in RBIs, and Trey Santos is 9th in RBIs. And after a slow start to the season, the Hilltoppers have turned things around and have won 5 of their last 6 home Sunbelt Conference games. The Trojans and the Hilltoppers will start their 3-game series tonight at 6. The Trojans will give the ball to junior Tanner Hicks tonight, Will Starling tomorrow, and Shane McCain on Sunday. And the softball team will be back on the road and back in conference action this weekend, hoping to bounce back from a loss against the Auburn Tigers on Wednesday. The Trojans will take on Florida International in Miami this weekend. The Trojans are getting closer to 500 overall, but are 6-5 in conference play and have won their past 2 conference series. The Panthers are 7-7 in conference play and are on a 3-game winning streak. The Trojans took 2 or 3 games last season when the teams met in Troy. And the teams will have a doubleheader on Saturday beginning at 4, and the final game of that series will begin Sunday at noon. And both men's and women's tennis teams are on the road this weekend, hoping to improve their standings before the Sun Belt Championships on the 18th. The women's team is riding the 3rd longest winning streak in the country and hope to extend that against the defending Sun Belt champions in North Texas. After their match with the Mean Green, the Trojans will take on the Blue Raiders of Middle Tennessee State tomorrow at 10. The men's side has not fared as well this season, but can carry some momentum into the championships with a win against Georgia State Saturday at noon. The Trojans are led by Sammy Gorbel, who has a 13-7 record in singles matches this year. And through 5 events in the Bulldog Decathlon at the University of Georgia, Sam Johnson sits in 7th place overall after posting numerous season bests. He started the event by finishing in 7th place with a season best time of 11.44 seconds in the 100-meter dash. He then added a career best in the long jump with a leap of 6.79 meters. He would then go on to jump 1.66 meters in the high jump, throw 10.81 meters in the shot put, and ended the day with a season best in the 400-meter dash with a time of 53.24 seconds. The decathlon will wrap up tomorrow, beginning with the 110-meter hurdles. And the rodeo team hits the road for its Ozark Region finale as they take part in the UT Martin Rodeo. The women's team, who was recently ranked as number 5 in the country, holds a 690-point lead over Southern Arkansas in the region. With a strong performance, the women could secure a spot in the National Rodeo Finals in June, and that's the ultimate goal.
Had a pretty strong year so far, and one of the nice things about it's a young team, so they're going to be here for 2 or 3 more years. It's not like there's a lot of seniors leading the pack, and we're losing them this year, you know. And but they're winning the region right now, leading it, and we're going into our last rodeo of the year, which is Martin, Tennessee, University of Tennessee at Martin, and we're just hoping to have a lot of success there. We've done well there the past 2 years, and we just hope to continue that and bring home another win.
And no matter what happens this weekend, the Trojans can drop no lower than 2nd in the rankings and hope to add to their lead and win their regional at the conclusion of the event on Saturday. So Courtney, Haley, as I said earlier, big weekend in Trojan athletics. A lot of teams playing some games. None of them at home, though, as we mentioned earlier. But, maybe they can go out and get some wins in these conference games. And, tennis teams right around the time for the championships. Rodeo team doing really well. They're looking to go to nationals. So we just wish all the teams the best of luck this weekend.
Exactly. Best of luck and safe travels to all the athletes.
That's right. Maybe they'll get back here on Monday, with a couple of wins on their belt as well.
Exactly.
All right. Thank you.
Still to come on TrojanVision Nightly News, we hear from one teacher who is retiring after 26 years of teaching at Troy.
But first, after experiencing a night of severe weather, we've seen sunny skies and cooler temperatures. What can we expect heading into the rest of our weekend? Bree?
As we progress into the weekend, I would say take advantage of these picture-perfect conditions, and I'll let you know why coming up next in weather.
I'm Sandra Fry. I'm a union bus driver, and I'm also a mom. During 17 years with Greyhound, I've covered over 2 million miles. My job is to safely bring families together. I love the open road, but I never forget that a drowsy or careless driver could be right around the next curve. Drunk driving is the deadliest of all. As a mom and as a bus driver, I have a message for you. If you drink, don't drive.
Troy has given to me so much more than I ever anticipated, and it creates that desire to keep doing something better. There's a perfect opportunity to get involved. Troy has many organizations here on campus that just give you the opportunity to find your niche here, to find your home, to find your passion.
On campus or online, Troy offers you the hands-on experience you need to pursue an exciting career in communications and journalism. Troy University. It's all you need to know.
My name is Liz. I study broadcast journalism at Troy, and I am a Troy Trojan.
From the high-definition digital production studios of Troy University, you're watching the award-winning Troy TrojanVision Nightly News.
And now Bree Sanders joined us with a look at weather.
So, Bree, today's been cooler than it has been all week.
Yes. Remember yesterday we saw a lot of harsh conditions in our area. We had some strong winds as well as rain last night, but ironically we do have these picture-perfect conditions here today. But it looks like we may have those rain conditions come back into our area. I'll get more into that in just a moment, though. First, let's take a look at our campus snapshot. Right now on campus, we see that it's a gorgeous day outside compared to yesterday. So if you're out and about or you're headed home from work, definitely take advantage of these sunny skies. Moving into our current conditions, right now we have mostly sunny skies in our area, temperatures at 70 degrees, dew points at 43 degrees, humidity is at 39%, barometers at 29.9 inches and falling, winds are coming in from the north at 11 miles per hour. Looking at our stats for the day, we had a high today of 70 degrees, a low of 52. There was about 0.36 inches of rain in the past 24 hours. The sun rises at 6:19 a.m. and it should set at 7:11 p.m. Looking at our temperatures around the state, right now Mobile is coming in at 75 degrees, Huntsville at 67, as well as Birmingham at 67, Montgomery at 71, Troy at 70, Phoenix City at 73, and Dothan at 76 degrees. Temperatures around the southeast, on average in our state, in the Birmingham area, they're at about 65 degrees right now, but as we move throughout the rest of the southeast, we see the pigment gets a lot darker into the orange, as well as these temperatures rising here in the South Carolina area right here, about 83 degrees, North Carolina about the mid to upper 70s. Temperatures around the United States, we have a mixture of temperatures right now. Northern states a lot cooler as we get into the Midwest right here. Back over here. The temperatures get a lot warmer, and the states around the southern border get extremely warm into about the mid-80s right there in Texas. Current surface map, we have a few strong conditions here. A lot of heavy rain moving into the California area as well as throughout the rest of the western states. But as we move back towards the southeast, in our state we have a few light winds in the area. We see this cold front that pushed through last night, bringing about those storm conditions as well as the strong rains and a little bit of hail in our area yesterday. We also see some more rain conditions forming here through the Tennessee area, possibly pushing towards our way as we end our weekend. Precipitation forecast over the next 48 hours, it looks like the southeast, or the majority of the southeast, will be experiencing some significant amounts of rain, so definitely stay on the lookout for that. But moving into tomorrow, we do have a picture-perfect Saturday ahead of us. Now, as we close out our weekend on Sunday, those rain conditions come back into our area, especially getting heavier here in the southeastern part of our state. On Sunday, they try to push back out of our area, but some stay lingering around here. And as we look at Tuesday, that rain comes back into our area, light rain though, maybe about a 30% chance of rain or so. Moving into tonight's forecast, we have mostly clear skies in the area, a few passing clouds, light winds coming in from the north-northwest at about 5 miles per hour with a low of 46 degrees. So tonight will be about 10 degrees cooler than last night. You may want to keep a light jacket on hand with you just in case you decide to go out. For tomorrow, we have mostly sunny skies in the area, afternoon clouds, light winds coming in from the north-northeast at 7 miles per hour with a high of 80 degrees. So tomorrow, like I said, those spring-like temperatures, picture-perfect conditions will be back into our area as we move into our weekend. Looking at our 4-day forecast, like I said, tomorrow that high gets to about 80 degrees with mostly sunny skies in the area. Low gets to about 54. As we close out our weekend on Sunday, that high drops down to about 67 degrees, a 70% chance of showers in the area. That low gets to 61. On Monday, that high gets back up into about the 80s, right there at 83 degrees. Still have those showers in our area, but this time with potential thunderstorms. Low gets to about 65, and on Tuesday, the high continues to rise right there at about 84 degrees, still with those scattered showers and thunderstorms in our area. So, Haley and Courtney, we did have a lot of rain conditions yesterday, but today we have those picture-perfect conditions, which will be sticking around as we move into Saturday. But like I said earlier, for us here at the studio and the viewers at home, we will have those rain conditions come back into our area as we move into the beginning of next week.
Exactly. So hopefully everybody will make sure they get outside and enjoy the pretty weather that we have tomorrow, and hopefully the weather will kind of stay on track. So the Trojan Athletics and have a safe travels this weekend.
Absolutely.